Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab. We out in the morning. Well, I do what I do for you, but I got something good today. I'm back in the book. Oh, yeah. I got a few pages, so hope it won't be that long. So let's do what we do. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. The message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receive them. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual life, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers do just that. So I'm on my grind to get you the information to do just that. Know thyself. That's my mission. And your goal should be to do just that. Know thyself. With the help, we should work it out. Let's go. Work with me. Follow me. I'll lead you the right way. Trust me. Knowing thyself is the question. Do you know you? It's rhetorical. But if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. Again, that's what I do for you. Help you to know you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and thinks that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows, but knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. It's okay. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my yacht, be true. We back to the book title, right thing. Let's talk about the second parable. I didn't give you the first one. Now this is the second one. But I'm gonna give you a little breakdown about Tahuti because I want you to get an understanding of who and what he's really about. So starting with this quick paragraph. Tahuti is the embodiment of patience and the wellspring of parables. That's what I'm giving you, aka mystical wisdom teachings, information that you can learn, listen, reflect, and meditate on, and use it, implement it in your daily life. Watch this. So he wisely humbles himself and begs for mercy. This is the story about him and Het Haru. Het Haru was the lioness that Ra sent out to get the unworthy. She got caught up. She got lost in herself. So he had to come bring her back. So he got to, I tell as a teacher, as an adult, I can trick my kids to teach them. Why? I'm smarter than them. I can trick them into learning. As a parent, if you don't know how to play the mind game with your kids, you're gonna lose that fight. Trust me. So he knew how to deal with Hadu in her state. Why? He begged for mercy. Why? He seemingly submit to her power and did not attempt to what? Confront her. Since why? He knew he was no match for her in might. Remember, she's destructive force from Ra. She will do you. So he knew better than to approach her that way. You got to know who you're dealing with and how to deal with them. This is why scouts go out and check other teams. What they do. Boxers go see what other guys do. Why? I need to know about him so I can, go against him. What he got, what he do, I can counter. Now, at the same time, watch this. He was cleverly captivates her with what? With her tension and draws away from her anger and her violence and channels her feelings towards the interest in another mystical parable. He got a story for it. You try to bring it to concept. Okay. Now, an important point in what dealing with the dull mind, the less smart people, is how the dumb mind is how the negative thoughts and the feelings are handled. You have to be careful. It's important to what? View the negative thoughts and feelings as well as the adverse conditions. Not knowing what the circumstances was, sometimes you got to be careful of their life as the challenges what to be overcome instead of as feeling that one is a victim of negativity from one others or from one's own mistakes. When you do wrong, trying to make that wrong, justifying it, stop, understand it, and move on. The former idea, watch this, of the former idea is empowering because a person who practices it will not allow the negativity to make them upset. Again, find that peace in yourself. When you let other people control you and get you upset, then they master you. Get used to being self-master where you find your own center, your own peace, where people can't upset you. I'm learning that as I go also. Now, when the mind is not upset, watch this, it can endure what? The negativity by understanding that it will not last forever. Again, my mom's favorite phrase, this too soon shall pass. And I just did the lesson of the Stoics. Tough times don't last, tough people do. So that's the concept. While at the same time, watch this, you can think clearly and you can resolve problems. When you are less emotionally involved in a situation, you can handle it a lot better. Once you get emotionally involved, you lose. That's why dispassion and detachment is important when you're dealing with situations. Why? For this purpose. Also, it's very important when what? When in a dull state of mind, that one should not simply say what? Oh, I'll wait until the negativity passes before I do any work, or to try to figure out where the negativity came from. Why? Because these tactics will only serve to what? Increase the negativity. Why? Suppose you have a hole in the ground. You want to go away. If you keep digging the hole, believing, again, here we say, believing that it will either go away or you will be able to find out where it came from. Really? You will only what? Make the hole bigger, the problem worse. A mind clouded with what? Clouded by agitation and distress will lead itself, that's the ego self, into what? Deeper and deeper pits of despair, anguish, and sorrow with no resolution in view. Why? Your vision's cloudy. You got no vision to outsee what's going on. So you think this is it. So it's not good. And the only way, watch this, the only way the whole of negativity in your consciousness, you must fill it with what? With something opposite to affect the change. Remember, equal opposite? If you got 10 pounds of nothing, put 10 pounds of something, balance it out. Now you got something to work with. So the scriptures recommend, watch this, recommended that the disciplines of prayer, first, selfless service, second, repetition, repetition to the divine name, and reflecting on scriptural teachings to what? Channel the negative emotions in a what? Positive direction. Where it was going down, push it up, as exemplified by this story, which I'm about to get involved with, what we told you about. Now, understand that when the role that Tahuti plays is you understanding situations and moving on from them. Don't get stuck in that negative state of mind. In addition, watch this, the teachings itself must be presented in a manner to which what? The student, right thinker, can relate to it. Again, I don't want to talk over your head. I want to talk to you. This, watch this, this objective is accomplished how? Through the use of myths. I tell you the stories, okay? Parables, I'm giving you them now, okay? Stories, you got similes, and you use the use of metaphors which are directly relevant to an individual's culture, something that you can relate to and experience and their human experience. You can make this happen for yourself. That's what I'm doing. First thing you're doing is you listen to the teachings first, and you must watch this. And the most important step in the process of spiritual transformation. Listen, in order for you to have this spiritual transformation, I call it the caterpillar to the butterfly change. Therefore, you have many intriguing, fascinating, and beguiling ways that have been devised by who? The sages. Again, we can come up with concepts and viewpoints to transmit what? The teachings that captivate the attention of the right thinker, aka aspirant, or you, the listener. Myths and parables have a very important feature. They are what? Easier to recall and have a more direct impact on the untrained mind than direct mystical philosophy. Why? Because they are easier to identify with, as opposed to proverbs or aphorisms, which contain raw spiritual truths that require a well trained mind in order to grasp and to be appreciated. You don't have to be a brain surgeon to follow right thinking philosophy. Why? I make it real simple, break it down for you. It ain't that hard. That's why. And it's telling you here the next step in the process of learning the teaching that I give is what? Reflecting upon them. I got a student who say he watched the lessons 1 or 2 times over to grasp the concept and get an understanding. I don't have a problem with that. That means he paying attention. That means he trying to get the grasp on the concept so he can use it. If I give you a tool and don't show you or tell you how to use it, what good is that tool? So if I'm giving you information that you don't understand, what's good is that information? That's why I try to break it down for you. That's what teaching is all about. I want you to be able to think for yourself. And that's what reflecting is all about. Thinking for yourself on your own after what you've heard, after what you was told. And this implies what? The continuous study and practice of what? The teachings that you're being taught. As you read over a spiritual text, the Bible, most likely people read that, and you practice is wisdom. I do the same thing with my books. This is what I do as a student. Yeah, I'm a student first. I have to learn. I have to put my work in to learn, to read, to study, to comprehend, to compartmentalize it so before I can give it to you. So I done read through all this already. I'm just going back over it. Hopefully I can get the point across as I go. Why? Because I already know what I'm doing. That's why. And watch this. By doing this, spiritual text practicing is wisdoms in what? Your daily life, and you become deeper and deeper aspects of the teachings. Why? They will reveal themselves to you. Okay, what happened? You're purifying your heart in a greater and greater degree. Why? You're starting to answer to your higher self. The next step is what? Now, this is the important part right here. This is the next step. The third step. The next step is learning the teachings, is what? Meditating upon them. I tell all my Christian family, add meditation to the prayer. That's all. Nothing. Just meditate. Well, I'm not practice. Get used to meditating. It don't take long. You can meditate as long as you pray. Depending on how long you pray, you should meditate the equal time. Why? Give God equal billing. That's why. So that's the idea. But meditation, what's this? Meditation implies what? You're going deeper within what? Your own mind to the level which is beyond thought and senses. You have to experience it. It had to become part of you. And watch this. It is discovering the intuitional. That means it's already inside you. All you got to do is open it up. Level of mind. The correct understanding of the teachings of right thinking philosophy and their continuous practice daily in day-to-day life will what? Listen, will automatically lead a person to the meditative state in the course of time. This level of mind is also known in ancient Egyptian terminology as what? In Rutef. Nrutef. And that's the place where there is no thoughts or mental vibrations. This practice means communing with the absolute self within yourself, which is beyond your thoughts, your desires, and your sentimental feelings. It's the next level, it's the highest level. That's the pineal gland transmitting. Why? Once you activate it, now you can communicate with your higher self, and that's done through meditation. Now let's talk about the second parable. The second parable reinforces what? The teaching. There you go. It reinforces the teaching of Ra's harmony science. Conscious. Conscious. That's the head. Conscious. Conscience. That's conscious. That's conscience. Why? It's been proven in the heart is where the conscious dwell, spelled that way. So Hadu was what? Able to what? Just develop what? Devotion toward the divine, aka God. He brought her back to realization who she was and who she should be respected. And devotion towards the divine is an important development in any spiritual life. If you ain't about that, you ain't spiritual. That's what being spiritual means. Okay? It means channeling one's what? Emotions toward what is true, beautiful, and good, and what? Turning away. Turn away from what? Turn away from that which is erroneous, illusionary, and the source of what? Pain and sorrow in life. All the things that's transit, all the things that's, the material things, those things will never make you happy. So devotion to who? God means turning away from the sentimental desires of the ego. Here you go. There you go. Turn away from the ego and turning the feelings toward the divine. That's devotion to God. That's why y'all pray. Y'all pray to talk to God, but y'all actions should be the devotion. How you act and how you do is going to be what He's going to judge you by anyway. So devotion and wisdom are what? Closely related. How? Each fulfills the other, and together they lead to what? Spiritual aspirant to what? You, the right thinker, to what? Discover your higher self. AKA God. Everything I do, everything I instruct you is to get you to know you, AKA God. In order to love something, yourself mostly, you must learn about it. If you don't know thyself, how you gonna love yourself? If you don't know God, you can't love him either. And the divine self is what? No exception. The blessings, the blossoming devotion in Hadu, your heart, love for God. At Judgment Day, that's what they're going to judge you by, the contents of the heart. So, watch this. And the teachings of who? Tahuti, we're back to that again, about the wisdom of the self allowed who? Hadu, which is you, to calm down and to see the infinite glory of your divine self. His teachings reveal what? The hierarchical order of living beings in creation, animals than man, and also the idea that even the most powerful living beings, watch this, are all under the control of the ultimately answer to, they all have to ultimately answer to the Supreme Self. No exceptions. Tahuti represents the character of the ancient Egyptians. They call him the sufferer. We know him as the griffin. What's that? A mythological character. Watch this. In the role of the divine avenger or the divinity who what enforces the divine law. You can't get around karma. They even gave you a mythical creature, the griffin. And watch this. The griffin is the mythological animal which encompassing the body of the lion, the head and the wings of the hawk, and the tail of a lion or serpent. He's a bad thing. Okay? In legends from India, watch this, they called him the East, the ancient Scythi, Scythia Griffin. Okay. Or were known as what? The guardians of the treasures and mines. In Greek mythology, they drew the carriage or the chariot or of the sun and were the guardians of, again, gold treasures. In this parable, the sufferer, the griffin, represents what? The supreme instrument of what? Power of the divine. In reality, this is Het Haru's true identity as the Eye of Ra. This is why Tahuti created and escaped from the power of the sufferer. So what? In the subtle and indirect way, he is teaching her about what? Herself throughout the whole story. Again, if I'm the teacher and you're the student, I can do it. I can lead you along to get you where I need you to go. Sometimes we call it tricking them to teach them. It's okay. If it's for the good, it's fine. Like I said, I use whatever means I could to get my message across to teach you to be your best self. So I understand. That's the concept. And watch this. And at the end of the parable, he reveals to her what? That she has the same power and that she herself is the eye of Ra, God, which has power over what? All the creatures. Man has power over dominion of all animals. Why? We got consciousness that puts us in God's image. Like him, we can create something from nothing. My next lesson. But the idea is we can know ourselves. Animals don't have to know. They just instinctively know what to do. We not so much. That's why we got sages, teachers, and mystics and gurus. But wrapping it up. So thus, he introduces her to who? Her own higher nature in a what? Clever and artistic manner. He tricked her. Baya! I love that. Let me wrap it up. Another important teaching presented to Hadharu, which is you, in the first two parables was what? Faith. The teaching showed her how God exists in the very fabric of creation. Again, my concepts. In fact, all creation has proceeded from God, and every part of creation is permeated by God's presence, humans included. His fairness and compassion is evident where? In the principles of what? Righteousness, fortune, destiny, and cause and effect. AKA, here we go, my girl, Mayat, Minunet, Shah, and Mishkanet, which is all which sustain creation. Now, in order to receive these teachings, she needed to what? Develop her faith in who? Her teacher. Why? This enabled her to be what? To able to listen and reflect upon those teachers instead of what? Rejecting the teachings and killing the teacher. Most ignorant people would do just that. Reject the teacher and kill the teacher. Why? Because it don't go with what they believe or what they think. It ain't about that. If you're the student, you learn. My goal is to get you to know you. I'm on my grind. I'll be back with parable number 3.